Okay, so hi everyone. Hi, all the students and the parents over here. A very warm welcome to all of you from the Olympiad Success family. I'm Aarti and I will be your host for today. So, the flow of this session would be like, first of all, there would be an introduction by your mentor, Usha ma'am. And, like we have been delivering these demo sessions. Since 28th of February because this academic year has started, and from 14th of March our classes are beginning. Okay, the live classes are beginning. So we always do a demo session before our live classes, so that the student understands like everything about us. Okay, so like before you students joined in, I was just talking to Usha ma'am, and so like it has been we have been meeting almost like 4 or 5 times in the past 3 days. So we had a demo earlier today at 5 o'clock also for grade 6 students, and which Usha ma'am is taking. So she is a wonderful mentor. Soon she would be introducing herself to all of you. So after her introduction, we would be having a short presentation about the course by Rajan sir, and like basically that course will be explaining in detail. Uh, the presentation would be explaining in detail about the course, and after that I will be taking you through a tour of the Olympiad Success platform. So Rajan sir would be telling you like what all you would be getting once you enroll to this program. Okay, so I will be quickly taking you through that platform, like your dashboard, how it looks like, so that you understand beforehand only what all you would be getting. And once the tour of Olympiad Success platform is complete, we will be having a short question and answer round, which you can, like for all your queries, you can write it down in the chat section, and we will be happy to answer all your queries. And post the question and answer round, we will be starting with the demo session by your mentor, Usha ma'am. Okay, so over to Usha ma'am.
Good evening, everybody. It feels nice to see known faces. Hello, Nehal. How are you? So I immediately recognized, Nehal. She was there in my class in class 7 last year. So
Oh,
I'm looking for
wonderful.
the other faces. Yeah, I don't forget faces of children. Yeah. With pleasure. I hope your class 7 was good and everybody else's also. Good evening to all the children and all the parents, especially, because I know that parents play a very, very important and a vital role, in the careers and in the academics of students. So this is a team effort. No, I will put in 100% of my effort. And, students who have done classes with me know that it is a very interactive class. Everybody is unmuted. There's no question of mute. And as Aarti said, I encourage if you want to annotate and ask me questions. Sometimes it helps when you write, right? I understand it completely. So all that is allowed. So I don't restrict all that. A little bit of, introduction about myself, very, very brief. So I'm Dr. Usha Banerjee. I've got a PhD in computer science. And I'm teaching students, mostly, bigger students for the past 20 years. I'm with Olympiad Success for some time now. And through Olympiad Success, I got to interact with the younger children and the younger students. I just wanted to see, whether I remember my concepts. And it really helps me brush up my knowledge also. I like studying and learning new things. And so then that has given me a different perspective to how education is done now in the junior classes. So in the last year, Olympiads, I had several batches of class 6, 7, 8, 9. So this year, I'm really looking forward to all interacting with all of you, and I hope we have a great time together. And yes, preparation for the Olympiads is different from the preparation that you do in your school. So the Olympiads are competitive exams and definitely a few levels above than the school curriculum. So the course also will be designed in such a way that the fundamental, aspect, the fundamental aim of the course is for you to understand concepts. So now you have clear-cut physics, chemistry, and biology. Class 8 forms the beginning of the high school, and after that you have 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So definitely the focus will be on explaining concepts, and the questions of the Olympiad are not define this, explain that. I'm sure many of you appeared for the Olympiads in earlier classes also. So the questions involve, reasoning using your brains, numerical questions. So therefore, you have to understand things. If you just learn it up, it will not work. So I'm sure I'm waiting to meet you in the live classes, where it will be more interactive and better for both of us. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Usha ma'am. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful intro by you. And students, as rightly said by Usha ma'am, so it's a combined effort of everyone. Like your mentor would be giving her 100%, but then it would be your effort as well. And of course, your parents' guidance and Olympiad success will be certainly there with you to help you out with everything and making your foundations really strong. So now I would request Rajan sir to take us through the presentation.
Yeah, sure. Students, my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So, firstly, welcome to the demo of Class 8 Science Olympiad. So, let me tell you about us, about Olympiad Success. So, Olympiad Success is actually India's largest online platform for online exams. We have Olympiad live classes. This is our third year in live classes. And again, it is India's first exclusive live classes for Olympiad preparation. We have School Plus program. In Plus program, we got 8 courses: mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication, spoken and written both, Vedic maths and coding. Now, what else? We offer online CBSE classes for grades 6 to 12 and one-on-one preparation classes for International Mathematics Olympiad like SESMO, that is Singapore and Asian School Math Olympiad, CMO, Southeast Asian Mathematics Olympiad, Hong Kong International Mathematics Olympiad, Thailand International Mathematics Olympiad, Math Count, US Common Math Olympiad, Math Kangaroo, PRMO, and also JEE preparation classes. Meet our rank holders for session 2021. So for session 2021, we got 40 plus international rank 1, 70 plus top 5 international rank, and 120 plus top 10 international rank. Now about this course, there will be 20 students in the course, in the batch, and the classes will be conducted on Zoom platform. 3 sessions per week. Days will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And timing will be 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. So the duration of the class will be 75 minutes, and there will be a break for 5 minutes. Okay. The session include a mix of theory, practice question, doubt session, and also discussion on previous year paper. And student will get reading material, practice question, which are available on dashboard of Olympiad Success. And student also get practice test, mock test for science and logical reasoning. Okay, students. Now the fees for this course is 11,680 and there will be 55 sessions. Now the fee include online classes, reading practice note and exercise, practice of previous year paper, and also access to worksheet and mock test of science and logical reasoning. And students, if you join today, you will get free CREST Science Olympiad exam, that is CSO exam. Now to join this course, you just need a laptop with good internet speed and headphone. And students, actually, preparation for Olympiad exam is quite tougher than a regular school curriculum. Why? Because we got some questions from upper grade also. So to cope up with this preparation, you need to give some extra hours every day to cope up with the curriculum, and parent support will be needed to check answers and retrieve concepts. Now the live classes for this course will start from 4th April, and currently we have students from 3,800 schools and we are catering in 35 plus countries. So this is about this course, students. Now, if you have any question, you can ask in the chat box.
Thank you so much, Rajan sir, for a detailed presentation. So, kids, like if you have any questions, you can write it down in the chat section. Meanwhile, I'll just quickly take you through the Olympiad Success platform. Okay. Uh, so that if you have questions related to the presentation as well as related to the platform, we can quickly answer those. So students, like what will happen once you enroll to this program, you would be getting this credentials, okay, the credentials to log into the Olympiad Success platform. So what you have to do is you have to go to this login link, which is olympiadsuccess.com/login, and there you have to write your email address and password and click on the sign in button. Once you click on the sign in button, so you would be redirected to your profile page. So you need to complete your profile before you move to any other option on the dashboard. So the first thing which was mentioned by Rajan sir was reading material, practice questions and answer keys. Okay. So let's say like once I click on the live classes over here, so what you can see here is the subject which I have enrolled to. So here I have enrolled to all the 8 subjects of Olympiad Success, which are English, math, science, logical reasoning, Python programming. So we have coding, in which we do teach Python, web designing, and few others as well. Then we have Skillo Speak and Skillo Write. So these are our communication courses, and then Vedic mathematics. Okay. So all the subjects would be coming. Then what all topics would be covered in those subjects? What schedule we would be following? Like in session one, we would be doing what, in session two, what? The holiday calendar, like when the classes will not be conducted, and your Zoom meeting ID and password. Okay. So you have to, like you can use this meeting ID and password to log in to your classes, the live classes. Okay. Now let us see the content. So if I click on Science Olympiad, and if I click on, let's say, this crop production and management, and if I click on reading material, okay. So here the reading material will open up, and so this is the entire content which would be available to you. So for every topic you would be having the content available to you. Okay. And similarly we would be having practice questions and everything. Okay. So let's say, like if I check for any other subject as well. Okay. So let's say for English I would want to check for verbs. So in verbs I see the practice questions, and so once I scroll down we have the practice questions. Okay. So around 15 to 20 practice questions we have, and the answer keys would be visible once you click on the verb answer keys. Okay, so like for all the subjects, so whichever subject you are enrolling to, your those subjects would be coming in this drop down, and the topics you can see. Now coming to the view schedule page. So view schedule, once you click on that, so here a detailed schedule would be given to you, like in session one what we would be doing, in session two what we would be doing, and so on. Okay. So everything has been mentioned very clearly for all of you, and the entire reading material, practice question and answer keys will be available to you on the first day of your live classes. All right. And now coming up to the next thing which was mentioned by Rajan sir, which is free for you all. Like once you enroll to this class, enroll to this course. Okay. So like you get a free topic wise worksheets for science and logical reasoning. So if I click on comprehensive science, so here you can see all topic wise worksheets are available. So there are 95 worksheets available to you. Okay. And each worksheet contains around 20 to 25 questions. So these are in the form of examination. So once you click on the take exam button and start worksheet button, so here you can see like the questions, and on the right hand side you can see the total number of questions, which are 25. Okay. So just select the option, click on the next button, select the option. So you have to read the question, select your option, and in this way you have to complete your test. So we give 3 attempts for this test, all the tests. Okay. And once you complete the test, you can see the complete answer key, like the question, the answer, what the correct answer is, and what you had answered. Okay. So in this way, you can see the entire answer key. And in case, like if you, let's say if you go to the profile page, or if you click any other button, and if you would want to see your report once again, so what you have to do is just click on the performance tab here. Okay. So once you click on the performance tab, this opens up, and you have to click on the view button under detailed results. And here you can see the summary of your test. And once you click on the review button, you can see the entire answer key. Okay. And on the right, as you can see, the total questions, time taken, score, attempted, not attempted, correct answers, right? So like these two important things we provide to all our students enrolling for this course. Okay. One is live classes, which I had shown you earlier, and the second free which we are giving is the worksheets. Okay. Apart from that, if you enroll today, you are eligible for a free CREST Science Olympiad examination. So if you need the details, you can visit their website, crestolympiads.com, and you can check over there. Okay. So kids, now can we have the questions quickly? Anything related to the program or anything related to the dashboard of Olympiad success? In case if you have any doubts, please do let me know in the chat section. Toshani has no questions. So Rajan, no questions are coming up. Everyone is saying no questions.
Okay, we got
Okay.
one.
Is any material which can be accessed without paying? So I'm so sorry, Chaplain. Like you need to pay. Like this is a complete course. Like so, once you enroll to this program, you are entitled for the live classes, the reading material, practice questions, and the topic-wise worksheets. Okay.
Yes, I have a doubt. You can write in the chat box.
Quickly, children, like because I would want to give you more time for the demo, right? So your mentor would have more time for I mean any free material. I don't mean the whole course. So, Chaplain, we do not have any free course, free material as such, but we do conduct a free mock test every Saturday. So, what you can do is like, I'll just paste the link in the chat section for you to do these tests every Saturday. Okay. So, just a minute. And so we conduct mock test practice tests every Saturday, and you can come to the platform and take these free Saturday online tests. Okay. So I hope this answers your query. Today is also a Saturday. When is it? Okay. So to your question, Toshani, like now as the academic year is starting, so right now we had stopped. So these Saturday to Saturday free mock tests are available till January only, and we will be mostly beginning the practice from May onwards, I believe. Okay.
Any other question?
Yeah.
Yes, M Pramod. You can write in the chat box.
So there is one question from Harshal Rajan. When will be next batch? Still, we have not completed seventh exams and planned during 31st March to 15th April. So, I would like to mention here that we have not finalized the date for the next batch. This is the first batch which we have planned, and the classes will be starting from 4th of April, if I'm not wrong. Is it right, Rajan sir? Yeah, 4th of
Yes, ma'am.
April, the classes will be starting. So as soon as, like we declare the batch, it would be put on the live batch fee page, which you can check. Also, what you can do is like you can just drop us a message on our WhatsApp number, which is 9560764447. And there all your queries will get resolved related to like when next batch is coming. Otherwise, you can always check our all batch details page.
How many we pay for course? Okay, so that is actually 11,680 INR in Indian rupees. Any other question, kids? Okay, I think Aarti ma'am didn't have any question. Okay, so can anyone tell when the when you having the classes, the days?
Okay, so that is the next question by Pramod.
In
So,
weekly, how
but then
many
students,
classes?
we are asking like how many classes will be conducted in a week, like what will be the days and timing? Anyone in the chat section quickly, or should we tell? No one remembers? Three, and
16.
what would be the days and timing as well?
Okay, I think Toshni tell it is a Monday, Friday, and Wednesday, MWF. And what will the time? The duration is 75 minutes. Okay. Okay, and time will be 8 to 9:15. Okay. So any other question do you have, or shall we start with the demo?
I think so. We should then start with the demo,
Yes.
right? Okay, so over to you, Usha ma'am.
Thank you so much. So I will just start with the demo class. So just 1 minute, I'm just sharing my screen. Okay, so for this demo class, I have chosen the first and very, very basic concept of physics, which is force and pressure. Okay, so I will try to, explain to you the concept. As I told you so many times, you should understand. Okay, this is the basic concept of physics. This is the first chapter of physics of your class 8 syllabus, and this is force and pressure, right? And understand one thing, this chapter of force and pressure, you will have in class 8, you will have in class 9, you will have in class 10, 11, and 12. So class 8 is the very basics, the concepts, and in 9, the next level, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, whenever I say force, all of you think it's a big thing, right? A force is nothing but even a push and a pull. Now, suppose I have an iPad on my table, right? If I don't touch the iPad, no matter how much time passes, the iPad will not move. So an object moves only when you apply a force. So you either push it or you pull it, right? So force, so I'm going to the whiteboard. So what can force do? So what can force do? So force can change the position of an object. So this is what happens when you're kicking a football. So the ball moves from one place to another. Force can change the shape of an object. I give you an eraser, okay, a rubber, or say a sponge, and I tell you to press it or squeeze it. So the shape of the eraser can change, okay. A force can change the direction of an object. So I'll give you the example of a football. So I tell you to kick the football, you can kick it in such a way that the direction of the football changes. Apart from this, force can also change the speed of the object. So the definition, you don't have to learn up everything. You don't have to mug up anything, okay? So force is anything that can change the position of an object, change the shape, change the direction, change the speed of an object. The simplest force that we can think of is push and pull. Simplest force, okay? So you're standing in front of me, I give you a push, that is, I'm applying a force on you. So another important concept, force has both magnitude and direction. Now, what does the word magnitude means? The word magnitude in physics means numerical value. And direction we know, right? Okay, so a force is what we call a vector quantity. Now, what is this vector quantity? So all the physical quantities, physical means something that we can measure, are of two categories. We have scalar quantity and we have vector quantity. So as I told you, physical quantity means quantities that we can measure. So a scalar quantity has only magnitude. And I told you what is magnitude? Numerical value. For example, distance. So I say that the distance from Delhi to Bombay is 2000 kilometers. So this 2000 is what is called as the magnitude. So which means the value of distance from Delhi to Bombay is 2000 kilometers. So 2000 is the magnitude and kilometer is the unit of measurement. So every physical quantity has a numerical value and a unit of measurement. On the other hand, vector quantities have both magnitude and direction. Since I started with force, so force is a vector quantity. How do I know it? So if I'm pushing you, the direction of push is important. The direction in which I'm pushing you is important here. So force is a vector quantity, velocity is a vector quantity, acceleration is a vector quantity, displacement is a vector quantity, so on and so forth. Okay, so before you get into all of this, anything of physics, you have to understand this. So we have scalar quantities and vector quantities, right? For example, time. I say that, this class will be around 40 minutes. So 40 minutes is a scalar quantity. There's no question of direction here. Okay. Now, so push and pull are the simplest possible forces which exist, right? To type onto the keyboard, you push the keys of your laptop, right? Of your keyboard. The SI unit of force is called Newton. What is SI unit? So SI unit is an international system of units. So which means that there are other systems of units also. I'm just going to the whiteboard. So what are the system of units? First is the SI system, which is the international system. Second is what we call the CGS unit. And the third is called the I'm writing it clearly, FPS unit system, right? So in CGS unit, distance, the unit of distance is meter, and the unit of time is second, and the unit of mass is kilogram or kg. So meter, kilogram and second, right? The SI unit is sometimes also therefore referred to as the MKS unit, system of units. So now CGS, so CGS distance is centimeter, mass is grams and time is second. Simple. And FPS, distance is foot or feet, mass is pound and time is second. Now, in our country, in fact, why do we need this? Okay, today if you have to travel to USA or any other country, Indian rupees will not work there, right? So every country has a separate currency. So it's really a problem. So if you have to go to any other currency, you have to take that currency and go. If you give 100 rupees in USA, it will not work. Similarly, if you give a $10 note in India, it will not work. So to avoid this kind of confusion in science, the SI system of units was proposed. This SI system of units is the standard system of units which is applicable in all countries of the world. So till class 12, you study in India, and then for your further studies, you go abroad. So the same units of force, the same units of velocity, pressure will be applicable. So the beauty of the SI system is that all the countries everywhere in the world, the same units are used. CGS unit was used earlier, but now it is almost obsolete, and FPS is actually not used. In the British time in India, FPS was used. Now, to give you a simple example, pound is used only to buy cake and bread. So I tell you, right, this is a 1 pound cake. Or give me a 1 pound loaf of bread. So apart from that, the FPS unit is almost, gone now. Nobody uses it. So everybody uses the SI system of units. These are the basics of physics, the basic concepts. You have to be crystal clear with that. So when I talk about force, I told you that the SI unit of force is Newton. So immediate, Newton is the name of a person. So this should be capital. Sir Isaac Newton. He was a very famous physicist. And just to add on here, the CGS unit of force is called dyne. Okay. So as I told you, the Olympiads prepare you for, a few levels above your school syllabus. So definitely today is a very short class. I will not have much time. But when we do the live classes, all of this will be taught in way more details. I will tell you how to convert dynes to Newton and back. Right. This chapter will have a lot of numerical questions also. We will solve those numericals in the class, and I'll give you assignments. And as was mentioned, worksheets will be available to you which have numerical questions, right? So these are the effects of forces. It can move a stationary object. It can bring an object to rest. I have a football on the ground. I apply a force with my leg, the ball stops. It can increase or decrease the speed. What is speed? So speed is equal to distance by time. So if I have to write the definition of speed, speed is the rate of change of distance. Now, I will tell you something very crucial, okay? Whenever you have this phrase, these 3 words, rate of change, just close your eyes and, rate of change means denominator will be time. Okay, so the rate of change of anything means the denominator will be time. I'll give you another example. I say velocity is the rate of change of displacement. So what is the formula for velocity? The formula for velocity is displacement by time. So as I told you, whenever you have rate of change of something, which means denominator will be time, right? So when I do the classes with you, live classes, I will give you small tips and tricks by which, things will become easier for you. When you see questions, you can solve them faster, because Olympiad is not only about correctness, but is also about time. Okay. So you have to answer the questions fast also, right? So we'll do a lot of small things like this. So force can change the direction of motion. It can also change the shape and size of an object. How can you change the shape and size? Simple example. Take a sponge or a soft, object, an eraser, a piece of rubber, squeeze it with your hand. The shape and size changes. Right. So these are the primary, effects of a force. Okay. Now, usually what happens, more than one force is acting on an object, and the resultant is called the net force. Please understand something. I'm not telling result. Okay. I'm telling resultant. I'll use the whiteboard. Suppose I have an object, a block of wood on a table or something. Now I'll show you the forces. Okay. Suppose on this side, I have force F1 is equal to 5 Newton. F2 is equal to 10 Newton. And on from this side, the direction is important because force is a vector quantity. From here, F3 is acting, say, 20 Newton. So the question is calculate the net force, which is also called as the resultant force acting on this body. So F1 is acting from left to right, F2 from left to right. So what is F1 plus F2 here? 10 plus 5 is 15 Newton. And here F3 is 20 Newton. So the resultant, and if you notice, the directions are important here. So these two are acting from left to right and F3 is acting from right to left. So therefore, the resultant force or net force, so out of 20 and 15, which is bigger? 20 minus 15, which is 5 Newton. And the direction of the net force will be in this direction. Why? Because 20 Newton is greater than 15 Newton. Clear? These are all things which you have to understand. Okay, one more thing. All of you are very quiet. Whenever you have questions, you want me to repeat something. Today, you are all muted because it's a demo class. In the live class, all this, everybody is on unmuted. You can ask me, just stop me and ask me. For today's class, if you want have any questions, any doubts, please type it in the chat window. I'll answer all as I go along. Right? So understood this concept. So to calculate the resultant of the net force, so what did I do? 20 minus 15. And why did I minus? Why didn't I add? Because the forces are acting in opposite direction. I'll give you another example. You know the game of tug of war, right? I hope all of you know it. So in this, there is a team. There are two teams. I will try to, explain it to you so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So usually the number of the team sizes are same. And in between we have a rope. And, the teams are pulling the rope from both sides. Let's say the force applied by this team black is, say, 50 Newton. Chaplin, don't worry, all the slides, you can look into the recorded class. Don't worry, this is just a demo. When we do the real classes, I will do all of this in details, okay? Today we are running short of time, so that's the reason, I'm moving faster also. In the live classes, all this takes minimum 4 to 5 classes to explain all this. And let's say red is a fatter and a stronger team, and the force applied is 100 Newton. So the red team is pulling the rope in this direction and the black team is pulling the rope in this direction. So which team will win? So you have to calculate the resultant force. So both opposite directions. So 100 minus 50, that is 50 Newton. And the net force will be in this direction. Why? Because 100 Newton is greater than 50 Newtons. Simple. So in both the examples which I have showed you till now, the forces were acting in opposite directions. Okay. I will show you another example where the forces are acting on the same direction. Say F1 is, say, 5 Newton, F2 is 10 Newton, and F3 is something, 7 Newton, F4 is 2 Newton. What will be the net force here? So what is the force here? 10 plus 5 is 15, 7 plus 2 is 9. All the forces are acting in this direction, right? So the net force will be 15 plus 9, that is 24 Newton. So when to add? So we add the forces when they are acting in the same direction, and we subtract or minus the forces when they are acting in opposite direction. Right? Now, I will give you another case. Suppose I have an object, say 5 Newton, 10 Newton, same example like before. And this is 2 Newton. From here, another force. This is say 4 Newton. So what will be the resultant? These two sum is 15. These two sum is 7. So 15 plus 7 minus 4. So that is 22 minus 4, 18 Newton. And the direction of the net force will be in this direction. Why? Because 22 is greater than 4. Clear? So we'll do loads of examples like this in the live classes. Today, there are many cases which I can cover. Actually, the entire class will be to calculate the resultant forces also. I will make you also solve questions in the classes with me, because for this, unless you do it together, it will not work. And I don't like reading slides. I prefer board work. So in the slide, the same thing is given. So when the forces are in the same direction, you have to add them. And if the forces are in the opposite direction, you have to subtract them. And these are arrows. Okay. So once you understand, things become way easier. Okay. The idea is not that you have to, note down the slide and all that. The purpose of these classes is you have to understand. Clear? And we'll do a lot of questions on this. So in this case, what is happening? This is 5 Newton and this is 10 Newton. So the resultant force is 5 Newton, which is acting from right to left. So now you understood. So the direction of the resultant or the net force will be the direction of the greater force. Okay. And definitely the direction is very, very important, because force is a vector quantity. Without direction, force makes no meaning. Instead of 5 Newton, if I just write 5 in your Olympiads or even in your school exams, you will get 0. So physics and chemistry, the unit of measurement is very, very important. Okay. So this is how you calculate net force, and also you can tell the direction of forces. Clear? Okay. Now we know that the unit of force is Newton, right? I told you Sir Isaac Newton. He was like the father of physics. So he did a lot of work in the concept of forces, and he proposed Newton's first law. Newton's first law is very, very simple. I'm going to the whiteboard. I have a table. On the table, I keep a book. Okay. Now, if I don't do anything to the book will remain at rest. Now, if I start pushing the book here, the book might move. So the book might move. Why am I saying might? Because whether the book will move or not depends on the magnitude of this push, which is nothing but a force. So Newton's first law states that I am sitting in a chair now, okay? If I don't move, you don't push me, I will sit on this chair for the entire night. But now you come and push me out of the chair, then I'll fall down. So this is exactly Newton's first law. So Newton's first law states that any object remains at rest, or an object in motion remains or tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So the book will continue to be at rest unless you push the book. And a rolling ball or a football on a field will continue to roll on the field unless you stop the ball with your leg. So this is Newton's first law. It seems very apparent to us, and everybody knows. I have a book on a table. There's no magic. The book will not move by itself. But Newton was the first person, actually the only person, who could put it in the form of a law. So Newton's first law states that an object in rest continues to stay in rest, an object in motion continues to remain in motion unless acted upon by an external or an unbalanced force. And what is that force? Either push or pull or whatever, friction. This is Newton's first law. So in simple English, the object will continue to do whatever it was doing. So if it's moving at constant speed or velocity, it will continue to move at constant speed or velocity. Simple? Okay. If you have any questions, you can then type them in the chat window. So this is what Newton's first law is. So all this, the calculations and all that, I'll show it in the class. Now, so when I say that an object is at rest, so this means that the velocity at rest is equal to 0. And the unit of velocity is meter per second. Okay, so Newton's first law states that if an object is in rest, it will be at rest. If it's in motion, it will be in motion. Plain and simple, this is Newton's first law. Now, Newton's first law gives a very, very important property of mass and inertia. What is mass? So mass is nothing but the amount of matter present in an object. And mass is a property of that particular object or body, right? So Newton's first law gives the concept of mass. And now it also specifies the concept of inertia. What is inertia? So suppose I am at rest. I'm sitting on a chair, I'm at rest. No matter what happens, I will not move by myself unless some force is applied on me. So if you come and push me, that will make me move. So how much force do you have to come and push me? So mass depends, or inertia depends upon mass. If I now, tell you that there is a car, in the parking lot below, go and push the car. Even if you try the whole night, the car will not move. Why? Because the mass of the car is big. But I give you a cycle and I tell you push the cycle. So very easy, even with one hand, if you push the cycle will fall. So inertia depends on mass, right? And mass and inertia both are properties of the object. And the SI unit of mass, SI means International Unit of Mass, is kg, and mass is a scalar quantity. Okay, so Newton's first law gives the concept of mass and inertia. Now coming to Newton's second law. Newton's second law gives a very, very important concept. It says that force is equal to mass into acceleration. The law states that it gives the relationship between force and mass and acceleration. So it says that the acceleration of a body is directly proportional to the net force and inversely proportional to the mass. Now, what is acceleration? So acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity. So I told you that rate of change of something means denominator will have time. So this is final velocity minus initial velocity by time, right? So normally in physics all over the world, Final velocity is taken as small letter v, v for van. Initial velocity is u and time is t. So this is the formula for acceleration. And what is the SI unit of acceleration? The SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Now this meter per second square can also be written as ms to the power of -2. I hope you know this. Okay, so both of this is the same. So acceleration is final velocity minus initial velocity by time. So Newton's second law has says that force is equal to mass into acceleration. So I can write, if F is the force, M is the mass, and A is the acceleration. So I can replace acceleration with V minus U by T. Right. We'll use all of these formulas to do numerical questions. And just to mention again, the unit of force is Newton, the SI unit of mass is kg, and the SI unit of acceleration is kg meter per second square. So I can actually write 1 Newton is 1 kg into 1 meter per second square. This is also correct. So 1 Newton force is nothing but the force applied on a mass of 1 kg, and the acceleration produced is 1 meter per second square. Okay. So we'll do a lot of numerical problems in this. And the SI unit of force we know is Newton. Now, Newton's law proposed the concept of momentum. Now, what is this momentum? So it proposed the concept of momentum. All of these are linked to the concept of force. So in physics, momentum is defined as mass into velocity. And momentum is usually defined by small p. So P as in pet. So P is equal to mass into velocity. Right. Not even one question till now. Normally by now, I'm flooded with questions and doubts in the live class coming to the Newton's third law. Newton's third law is simple in English, tit for tat. What is momentum? Okay, Harshal. So momentum is defined as the product of mass into velocity. So P is equal to M into V. This is momentum, right? It is a physical quantity. What is the unit of mass? Kg. What is the unit of velocity? Meter per second. So the unit of momentum is kg meter per second, the SI unit. Okay, SI is the international unit, right? Okay, Newton's third law says that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you are pushing me, you are exerting a force on me, okay? My body is exerting an equal and opposite force on you. And that is the force of my body weight. Okay. So because of the weight of my body, you have to exert a greater force to push me. That is Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you are pushing a wall, I have a wall next to me. If I'm pushing this wall with a force, the wall is also exerting a force. And what is that force? The weight of the wall. As soon as the force which I am applying is more, the wall will fall. So Newton's third law gives a very important concept that an individual force does not exist. Forces always occur in pairs. Okay, I'll do loads of examples after this. Okay, now coming to the concept of weight, I'll use the whiteboard. So now I have told you that mass is a Mass is the amount of matter present in an object. The SI unit of mass. Rajan, do I have time till 8 o'clock or 8:15? Hello?
Ma'am, it is 8:15.
Okay. So it'll end at 8:15. Okay, fine. Because somebody asked when will the class end. So
Okay.
the SI unit of mass is kg, right? So mass is the amount of matter present in an object. Where we have another parameter called weight. Weight is nothing but the force with which the earth attracts an object towards itself. So please notice that weight is a force. So the formula of weight is mass into acceleration due to gravity. So the small g is called the acceleration due to gravity. It depends on the planet on which you are. So if I say that my weight is 75 kilos, so on Earth, my weight is 75 kilos. So if I write W on Earth is 75 kilos, what will be my weight on the moon? So I know that on the moon, what will happen is the acceleration, very good Harshal, the acceleration due to gravity on the moon is 1/6 times. And the mass remains the same, and therefore the weight of the object on the moon will be 1/6 times, and you can do the maths yourself. So 1/6 into 75, whatever the value is, 12.5 possibly. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the weights of different planets, right? So weight depends upon the planet that you are on, and weight is actually a measure of force. Normally, when we colloquially talk, we mix up mass and weight, which is wrong. In science, mass is a property of the material, of the object, of the body. Weight is totally different. So mass and weight are not same. Normally in local, when we talk, colloquially, we mix up both, assuming that everybody is on Earth. But in physics, distinct difference between mass and weight. Okay. These are concepts which you will need all your life. Right. Coming to thrust. So thrust is nothing but the perpendicular force. What does the word perpendicular mean? Perpendicular means force that acts at 90 degrees. So thrust is a force which acts perpendicularly, which means 90 degrees. The SI unit of thrust is Newton, and numerically it is equal to the weight of the body, right? Now, why do we need thrust? So to calculate pressure, pressure is nothing but thrust by area. So pressure is defined as the thrust acting on unit area of a body. The SI unit of pressure is Pascal. This should be a capital P. So there was a scientist by the name of Pascal who also gave us Pascal's law. So Pascal, the unit of Pascal force. So pressure is nothing but thrust by area. Thrust is Newton and area is meter square. So I can write 1 Pascal is 1 Newton by 1 meter square. Yeah, sure, Toshani, you can leave if you have another class at 8:15. Not an issue. You can see the recorded class later. Okay. So we will be using all this to do numerical questions. So we have a law of liquid pressure. Very, very simple. We know this from daily lives. So pressure exerted by a liquid is transmitted equally and undiminished in all directions, which is called Pascal's law. So how do I prove it? If I take a beaker here and I make holes like this and I fill it up with water, the pressure exerted from all of these holes at one level will be the same. Now, to give you a little bit more information, the pressure of a liquid is given by H rho G, where H is the height of the liquid column. This is a Greek alphabet called rho, which is density of the liquid, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. So for pressure of a liquid, the formula is H rho G. So from the formula itself, we can see that pressure depends upon the height of the liquid column, density of the liquid, and acceleration due to gravity. So these are three factors on which pressure depends. So larger H rho G. H represents height of the liquid column. Rho represents density, Toshani, density of the liquid, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. Clear? Okay. So that is H into rho into G. This is a Greek alphabet which is known as rho. It's used in physics a lot. So the greater the height of the liquid column, larger will be the pressure. Smaller height of liquid column, lesser will be the pressure. Greater density of liquid, greater pressure. Less density of liquid, less pressure. Okay. So we will do numerical problems on this also. Coming to atmospheric pressure. So in physics and chemistry, whenever we talk about something, we say I tell you boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade at atmospheric pressure. So what is atmospheric pressure? Simple, the pressure exerted by the atmosphere, and that is equal to a height of mercury column, which is 0.76 meters. Okay. So how can you find it out in pascals? Multiply this height by the density of mercury, which is 13,600, and with G, which is 9.8, and the value is this. I'll show it in details when I do the classes. I'll be running out of time now. So basically, it is 101,325 pascals. You don't have to learn it up. You can multiply and find it for yourself. So important thing to remember is 0.76 meters of mercury column, which is also 760 millimeters of mercury, is atmospheric pressure. And we measure atmospheric pressure by using an instrument which is called a barometer. Okay, a barometer is a device used to measure pressure. So this is hydrostatic pressure, the pressure of water. So at the same level, the pressure is the same. As the level or height increases, the pressure increases, and so on and so forth. We'll also talk about practical applications. Suppose you're drinking a cold drink or juice with a straw. So if you notice here, the level of the straw is still here, so less pressure is required. And more if you go in, the straw is here, so more pressure is required. I'll tell you a lot of practical applications here. Talking about upthrust or buoyancy. So upthrust is nothing but the upward force exerted on a body, right? So normally when an object floats in water, there are two forces. The force that is acting downward is the weight of the body. So when the weight of the body is greater than the buoyant force, the body will sink. So buoyant force is nothing but upward force, also called upthrust. And that is what is taught when you go for your swimming classes. The first thing they teach is how to float in water, right? It's nothing but how do you balance your body weight with the upthrust. Okay. And this is there in Archimedes' principle, which I'll cover in the class in details. Coming to density. So density of an object is very, very important. Why are we talking about density here? So if the density of a body is greater than the density of a liquid in which the body is submerged, the body will sink, else it will float. And what is density? Density can be calculated as mass by volume. So why are we talking of density when I'm talking pressure and Archimedes' principle and buoyancy? Because I can predict based upon the density whether an object will float in water or sink in water. Why only water in any other liquid? Okay. So that is the reason the concept of density comes in here. So density is mass by volume, and therefore the SI unit is kg per meter cubed. We also use gram per cc depending upon whether we're using CGS units or not. We do a lot of numericals in class. This is just sample to show you what are the kinds we cover. So here the force is 3 Newton and the mass is 0.1, right? So M is 0.1 kg, force is equal to 3 Newton. So force is what? Mass into acceleration. So acceleration is force by mass. So 3 by 0.1 is how much? Do the maths. So 30 meter per second square. Correct, Harshal? So the correct answer is 30 meter per second square. Now look at question number 2. It's very interesting, okay? Mass is given, velocity is given, but important thing here is frictionless. So whenever we are talking about frictionless surfaces, which means the force is zero. No force is required for moving anything on a frictionless surface. So get it into our head. Frictionless means the force will be zero. So the answer here is zero, nothing else. Friction means it's an opposing force. So no opposing force means the force is zero. Two bodies of mass m and 6m are moving under the same force. So let me take, so the force 1, F1 and F2. They are saying that the force is same. So both of F1 is equal to F2. The mass of the first body is m. The mass of the second body is 6m. Calculate the ratio of the accelerations. So force F1 is equal to M1 into A1 and F2 is equal to M2 into A2. So I have to calculate the ratio of acceleration. So here A1 is F1 by M1 and A2 is F2 by M2. Ratio means A1 by A2. So that is F1 by M1 and F2 by F2. So F1 and F2 are same. They will get cancelled. So it is M2 by M1. M2 is 6m, M1. So the answer is 6:1. So the correct option is B. So, for doing these questions, you have to be, the concepts should be very, very clear, which, will be handled in the class. So with this, I'm stopping here today. Any questions, any doubts, you can ask me. And these are just sample numericals. We give you worksheets and you have to do a test after every lesson in which, a lot of questions will be solved. And I also encourage, if you have other questions, not from the worksheet, from the textbook or from your school exam, welcome. We share a Google form with you where you can share me the questions. I'll solve them in the class and explain them the solutions. So that was all from me. Any questions, anything you want to ask from anywhere in the syllabus, you can. So I think over to you, Rajan. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the wonderful session. So students, please let us know how was the session in the chat box. Very nicely explained. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it was great. Got it. Okay, so ma'am, thank you, Usha ma'am, for the wonderful session. So
Thank you.
students, now ma'am will meet you in the live classes. Okay, and just wait a second. I'm sharing one link. Aarti ma'am, can you please share that link?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you. So the link in the chat box, please save this. Okay, to register for this course, you can use this link. And now we will meet you in the live classes. So if anyone have any question, you can ask. Do you have any question? Okay, I take it as
Okay.
no. Then we can end the session now. Okay, now we will meet you in the live class. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha ma'am. Thank you, Rajan sir. Thank you, kids.
Thank you.
Have a
And good
great
night,
evening.
everybody. Yeah, good
Bye-bye.
night.